When you think of guns, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Speed, power, precision. Now imagine firing one. Underwater. Did you know there's a gun engineered specifically to shoot underwater? Yes, you heard that right. Today we're talking about the APS underwater rifle, a weapon that defies the very laws of ballistics as we know them. Buckle up. This is going to change how you think about firearms forever. Most conventional firearms are designed with one thing in mind: air. The oxygen-packed atmosphere we breathe is also the medium where bullet trajectories are calculated, tested, and perfected. But underwater, water has a density about 800 times greater than air. It slows bullets down dramatically, rendering most guns practically useless. The APS underwater rifle said, "Challenge accepted," and overcame this fundamental obstacle. In the 1970s, the Soviet Union recognized a crucial tactical disadvantage: divers. Naval combat divers, often called frogmen, played a huge role in underwater sabotage, defense, and reconnaissance. But what would happen if one team of divers ran into another underwater? Knives? Harpoons? It wasn't practical. So, the Soviets developed a firearm that could serve as a true lethal weapon in this environment. Enter the APS, or Автомат подводный специальный, meaning automatic underwater special in Russian. This isn't your ordinary rifle. The APS fires long, needle-like projectiles called darts, not typical bullets. Why darts? Because of their slender design, they cut through water with much less resistance than broader bullets. These darts are 115 millimeters, almost 4.5 inches, long, specifically optimized for underwater ballistics. They slice through water like a knife through butter. But how does it even work? To fire a projectile underwater, you need a unique gas sealing mechanism. When the APS fires, the breech seals airtight, preventing water from entering the gun. Once the trigger is pulled, gas pressure propels the dart straight out of the barrel. At short-range underwater distances of 30 feet, this is no ordinary dart. It can hit its target with lethal precision. That's the kind of engineering that still impresses even modern firearm experts. Let's pause and talk about the trigger. Do normal triggers even work underwater? Yes, but the APS had to go a step further. It uses a specialized trigger that reacts differently depending on the environmental pressure. Whether you're 5 feet or 150 feet below the surface, you want that gun to fire as reliably as it would on land. But, and here comes the catch, the APS is not a jack of all trades. Remember, it was born for underwater use. Above water, its accuracy drops significantly, and its effective range shrinks due to how the dart behaves in open air. Still, for its purpose, this firearm was revolutionary. Throughout the Cold War, APS rifles were issued to Soviet Spetsnaz divers. These elite frogmen were tasked with protecting submerged pipelines, naval vessels, and offshore rigs. Essentially, the APS became their secret weapon, hidden beneath the waves but lethal when called into action. Just imagine, divers stealthily approaching an enemy, armed not with knives but a fully automatic underwater rifle. How dramatic and thrilling is that? However, military technology evolves rapidly, and the APS eventually saw a successor. The Russians developed the ASM-DT amphibious rifle, which worked effectively both in and out of water. But that doesn't take away from the APS's magic. In fact, pieces of its design live on in virtually every underwater firearm created since. So why does a gun like the APS fascinate us? Part of it is the sheer audacity of its engineering. Firearms have challenged the limits of speed, power, and precision for centuries. But taking that challenge underwater? That required rethinking the principles of firearm design from scratch. Now, here's a question for you, our viewer. Would you ever have imagined a gun made specifically to fire underwater? More importantly, given how rare weapons like the APS are, can we appreciate what it represents? The ingenuity of mankind's pursuit to master even the most hostile environments? Next time you take a dip in the pool or dive into the ocean, just think, Somewhere out there, someone created a gun that could work beneath the waves. And that, my friends, is a weapon worth remembering.